if Jacob Zuma can take so much badgering from the media for a whole 9 years, and Ramaphosa cannot even deal with it for a couple of months, what does it say about Ramaphosa? What does it say about Ramaphosa? Because you would think that out of the presidents of the ANC, Jacob Zuma would be one president who would actually call for censorship. You would think that Jacob Zuma would be the one to say that, guys, I'm sick and tired of these people reporting about me and the Guptas. I'm sick and tired of these people reporting about the corruption of the African National Congress.
The 360 experience with Thomas M.
You know, guys, today is one of those days where I am actually worried as a South African. You know, guys, if we were to sit down and talk about the problems that are facing the country, I don't think even 2 weeks would be enough for us to discuss all of these problems that are facing the country today. So, as an average South African, you would actually assume that the president of the country is not happy about the direction of the country. You would assume that the president of the country is worried about the fact that companies are closing down, people are losing their jobs. You would actually assume that President Ramaphosa is worried about the unemployment rate amongst the young people. 60% of young people in this country, they are unemployed. Many young people, millions of young people in this country, they have diplomas, they have degrees, but they are sitting at home. Even people who have studied medicine, who would have thought that one day we would have qualified doctors sitting at home, qualified nurses, qualified teachers sitting at home. You would actually assume that President Ramaphosa is worried about the water crisis that has been facing the country. You would think that President Ramaphosa is worried about corruption that has riddled the country. But it looks like all of these things that we are assuming that President Ramaphosa is worried about, he is not worried about these things. Because recently there was an audio that has went out. It is trending. This audio has the voice of President Ramaphosa talking about the media and the coverage that he's getting from the media. It looks like President Ramaphosa and the ANC, they are not happy about the fact that they are getting quote-unquote negative coverage from the media. They are not happy about the fact that the media houses, they are reporting about the ANC as a ruling party and they are not giving them a positive coverage. So, as someone who is in the space, I'm actually worried because I know that right now the ANC, they are talking about television channels and radio station. I know after that they will go after independent media, and after that they will go to the general public. So I never thought that actually one day our free speech as the people of this country would actually be tampered with. I never thought that one day the president of the country would actually be encouraging the censorship of the media, because it can start with the media but it's going to end up with the people. It's going to start with the media but it's going to end up with the people. President Ramaphosa is not happy at all about what the media has been saying about the ANC and what the media has been saying about him as the president of the country. So instead of him changing the African National Congress, changing the direction of the African National Congress, doing all of these things that he said that he was going to do. You remember when Ramaphosa became the president of the country, he said he is going to deal with all of these problems that today he doesn't want people to talk about. When President Ramaphosa became the president of the country, he said that, guys, I know that corruption, it is destroying the country. I know that the ANC is number one when it comes to corruption. These are words of President Ramaphosa. He said it himself that when it comes to corruption, the ANC is number one, and I am going to deal with that. I am going to make sure that these corrupt comrades that have destroyed their country, they are actually dealt with. I am going to make sure that the South Africans are actually employed, because I know that in the country today, we have a problem of unemployment rate. We are going to make sure that we work day and night to ensure that the South Africans are safe. So today, it looks like President Ramaphosa and the ANC, they do not want people to talk about these problems that are facing them. They are sick and tired of people talking about these problems that are facing them. So instead of actually going back to the organization and saying, guys, what can we actually do to make sure that the brand of the African National Congress is actually resuscitated? What can we do to rescue the brand of the African National Congress? Can we start with providing people with the service with the service delivery? Can we start dealing with corruption? Can we start dealing with the crime? Can we start looking at this thing of open borders? Because right now you look at the country, open borders, illegal immigrants are doing as they please. There are videos going out where illegal immigrants are taking the police in the police stations. These are things that the South Africans are talking about. So you would actually think that President Ramaphosa would go back to the ANC and saying, guys, all of these problems and all of these things that I have promised the South Africans that I'm going to deal with, how about we start dealing with them? Because I honestly think that this is the only way these people can actually rescue the brand of the African National Congress. You cannot rescue the brand of African National Congress by pushing for censorship. You cannot rescue the brand of the African National Congress by forcing people to report positively on the African National Congress. You cannot force it. You cannot force the media to report positively on the ANC. You cannot rescue the brand of ANC by doing that. So guys, I'm going to play you this audio that has the voice of President Ramaphosa. I want you to listen to what President Ramaphosa said, and I want you to tell me if you are worried or not.
There's negative reporting and all that. We resolved that we are going to take that up. And we want fair treatment, even more than fair treatment, because they are the governing party, and the TV stations have no right to be negative towards us, and always either not reporting on our activities or just continuously branding us in a negative way. And we agreed at the NWC that there will be a team of comrades who are going to be watching this space all the time and making sure that we do take networks up.
So did you ever think that one day we will hear the president of the country in South Africa calling for censorship? I honestly never thought that one day we'd actually hear the president of the country calling for censorship. Jacob Zuma was the president of the country. Jacob Zuma had negative stories about him almost each and every day. Jacob Zuma never called for censorship. Jacob Zuma never said that the media houses do not have the right to report negatively on the ANC, because Jacob Zuma actually understood that these people are reporting on what the African National Congress is doing. Jacob Zuma got more negative coverage than Ramaphosa could actually think of, but Jacob Zuma never called for censorship. But Ramaphosa, 3 months of scrutiny from the media, he is now going to the ANC and saying, guys, we cannot allow this to happen. So I think the media houses also have themselves to blame, because for the longest time, these people have been reporting positively about President Ramaphosa. It was almost as if the media houses in South Africa, they had this relationship with President Ramaphosa. But it looks like right now, the media houses, they no longer want President Ramaphosa to be the president of the country. So they are reporting exactly what is happening with the ANC, and President Ramaphosa is not happy with that. If Jacob Zuma can take so much badgering from the media for a whole 9 years, and Ramaphosa cannot even deal with it for a couple of months, what does it say about Ramaphosa? What does it say about Ramaphosa? Because you would think that out of the presidents of the ANC, Jacob Zuma would be one president who would actually call for censorship. You would think that Jacob Zuma would be the one to say that, guys, I'm sick and tired of these people reporting about me and the Guptas. I'm sick and tired of these people reporting about the corruption of the African National Congress. So I'm going to go to the NEC, and guys, we're going to do something about these media houses that are reporting negatively about us. But Jacob Zuma allowed the media to do what they do. Jacob Zuma never tampered with our free speech. But it looks like Ramaphosa right now, he is very serious about tampering with your free speech. He is starting with the media houses. After that, he will go to the independent media, and after that, they will go to the general public. So what Ramaphosa wants is the same thing that is happening in China. It is the same thing that is happening in Russia, and it is the same thing that is happening in Brazil partially. Because right now in Brazil, the people are on the streets. The people are protesting the corrupt governance of Brazil, because the corrupt governance of Brazil is trying to censor them. The corrupt governance of Brazil is trying to get rid of Twitter. The corrupt governance of Brazil is sick and tired of the people of Brazil complaining about what is it exactly that is happening on the ground. So you look at all these countries that are in BRICS, because when Ramaphosa speaks like this, I think the first thing that I thought of was BRICS. You look at Iran, you look at China, you look at Russia. These people are in BRICS. What is common about these people in BRICS? There is no free speech. There is no free speech. You think that in China people would actually go out and report about what the president of China is doing? The people of China, they do not have the right to report negatively about what the president of China is doing, or what the CCC is doing, or CCP is doing. The people in Russia, they do not have the right to report negatively on what Vladimir Putin is doing. So it looks like Ramaphosa is taking exactly what China is doing and what Russia is doing, and he's trying to implement it to South Africa. So the question comes, what is it that the South Africans are going to do now that the president of the country has actually told them that he's not happy about this free speech that South Africans are enjoying today? What is it that average South Africans are going to do? Are average South Africans are going to wait for the government to go to them and tell them that, guys, we know that you are not in the media, we know that you don't have the independent media, but we know that you have social media. We are telling you that you cannot post negatively about us. What is it exactly that South Africans are going to do? What is it exactly that South Africans are going to do? Are South Africans going to go to the streets like the people of Brazil and say, Ramaphosa, we are not going to listen to you. You are not going to tamper with our free speech? Are South Africans going to sit back and allow the African National Congress to censor them? Are the media houses actually going to sit back and allow the ANC to censor them? It is going to be interesting to see what is going to happen. But what it tells me is that if Ramaphosa wins another term as the president of the country, it is going to be difficult for the media to do what they do. It is going to be difficult for South Africans to do what they do, because Ramaphosa has actually shown his hand that he's not happy about the media. Ramaphosa only enjoys the positive coverage. He doesn't want the real coverage, because according to him, when people report positively about the African National Congress, thumbs up. When people report about what the ANC has done, the corruption of the ANC, the inept government of the ANC, everything that is wrong with the ANC government, Ramaphosa does not like. So what is South Africans are going to do?
Negative reporting and all that, we resolved that we are going to take that up. And we want fair treatment, even more than fair treatment, because
if you want fair treatment, how about you start being fair to the people of this country? You want fair treatment. How about you start being fair to the people of this country? Because I can tell you now, for free, President Ramaphosa, I can tell you, like, for free. I don't have to charge you for it. I can tell you for free. If you want people to be positive about the African National Congress, then the ANC needs to start doing positive things to the people. If you want people to be positive, if you want the media to be positive about the ANC, then the ANC needs to start being positive about the people on the ground. It is simple like that. It is simple like that. You cannot rescue the brand of the ANC by intimidating the media. You cannot rescue the brand of ANC by intimidating the people. You cannot rescue the brand of ANC by infringing with our freedom of speech. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Because even if you succeed in tampering with our free speech, the people will always feel this way about the African National Congress. The people will always feel this way about the African National Congress. You want to be treated fair? Then start being fair to the people of this country. So when you look at what is happening in the country, do you think the ANC is being fair to the people of this country? Do you think that the comrades have been fair on the people of the country? Do you think that it's fair that average citizens are thrown to jail for doing the bare minimum? Do you think that it is fair that the comrades have been exposed in the Zondo Commission? Do you think that it's fair that these people that have been exposed in the Zondo Commission are still working in the government? Do you think that is fair? Do you think that is fair when South Africans think about the fact that if I can do a fraction of what these people did, I would be thrown behind bars? If South Africans can be found with millions of dollars in their sofas and mattresses, these people will be thrown behind bars. But you, as the president of the country, you have been caught with the millions of foreign cash in your sofas and mattresses, and nothing has happened to you. Do you think that is fair? So why do you want the media to be fair when you people are not being fair to the people on the ground? He talks about we need to be treated fair.
they are the governing party, and the TV stations have no right to be negative towards us, and always either not reporting on our activities, or just continuously branding us in a negative way. And we agreed at the NWC that there will be a team of comrades who are going to be watching this space all the time and in making sure that we do take networks up.
He will take that up. So guys, one person that is not happy at all one person that is not happy at all is JJ Tabane. You know that JJ Tabane was never going to sit back and allow Ramaphosa to threaten our free speech. So guys, this is what JJ Tabane has actually said about the African National Congress for trying to tamper with our free speech.
Be condemned for thinking, forget about saying it, for even thinking that he can tell us what to say about his government. And say, oh, the media, and he puts it in a blunt manner. He says, the media has no right to be so negative against the ANC. You got people who are stealing in broad daylight, where there's a full report compiled by no less a person than the Chief Justice of this country, saying you are stealing until the cows come home, and then we must be nice to you about it. Hey, comrades, why should we laugh with you? The media will be as negative as the negative things you do. There's no miracle. The media people are not magicians, but we don't make up stories. We don't make up a story of state capture. We don't make up a story of the hollowing out of parastatals. We don't make up stories of a Speaker of Parliament, running around in, bags full of cash. We don't make up stories. We report on the stories that are in front of us.
But he doesn't want that. Ramaphosa doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. He's not happy that the media has reported on allegedly the bags and bags that Nosivia Mapisangakula has gotten as bribes. He's not happy about the fact that the media has reported on him and that foreign currency on his farm. He's not happy about the expose that actually took place in Zondo Commission and Life as a Demand. He's not happy about all of these things that the media is reporting about. He's not happy at all. So how about you guys start changing the way you do things? I mean, this is the only way people can start looking at the ANC different. Because if the intention is to make the people look at the ANC different, maybe the ANC needs to start doing things different so that people can start looking at the organization different. How is that a hard thing to actually implement? Or are these people telling us that the ANC is so corrupt that, guys, it's beyond being helped? So we might as well shut down the media. We might as well shut down the people who are talking about the ANC, because we know that we as an organization, we cannot do this thing that Ramaphosa has been speaking about. You remember that Ramaphosa is the champion of the ANC renewal, but he has actually failed to renew the African National Congress. He has actually realized that, guys, I have failed to renew the ANC. I have failed to renew the ANC. The ANC is beyond repair. It's beyond repair. So we are going to shut down the media. We are going to shut down all of these people that are reporting about us. We are going to shut them down because we are beyond repair as an organization.
We don't score your goals. We report on your own goals. So please, Ntate Ramaphosa, a media freedom. Media freedom. Media freedom is at the heart of any thriving democracy. And it's actually sad that somebody who generally looks so polite and nice to the media and so on, behind closed doors he says, well, we must watch these people, but they must stop what they are doing. Yeah, comrades must, the whole room must look at these guys. They cannot do this. Surely, this is bizarre.
Of course.
It's bizarre that the president thinks this. No wonder his ministers don't think of anything of coming to account to the public through these platforms watched by millions.
Of course. I mean, I think this is, again, JJ Tabane is on the money, because this is the reason why there is no accountability within the ANC. This is the reason why there is no accountability within the people that are working with Ramaphosa, because if the president feels like this, it tells us that if the president feels like this, then these people are laughing at South Africans that are complaining about corruption. President and his team, they are laughing at South Africans. They are laughing at them. We are talking about accountability. We are reminding Ramaphosa of what he said when he became the president of the country. And he doesn't even care. He wants people to stop talking about that. He doesn't want to implement what he promised the South Africans. Instead of actually doing what he promised the South Africans, he wants people to stop talking about the promises that he made to South Africans. I mean, like, it is bizarre that the president is actually even suggesting this. It's bizarre. Like, guys, who would have thought that in South Africa would actually have a president who would call for a media censorship? We would actually have a president who is willing to tamper with our free speech. I mean, like, it is so bizarre, man. You know, guys, when I heard that voice note, I was shocked. I was shocked that out of, like, everything that the country has been, these are people that are telling you each and every day that the South Africans are enjoying this democracy today. South Africans are enjoying free speech. South Africans are enjoying quote unquote free education because we fought apartheid for us to be here today. We had to fight. People had to die so that South Africans can say whatever they want to say. People had to die so that South Africans can be free on the streets. But the same people that are going around and reminding South Africans that, guys, you are enjoying all of these benefits because of us, these are the same people that are calling for censorship. Man, I was so shocked when I heard that voice note, man, or that clip. I was so shocked that the president of the country can say this.
Because they take an example from him. What are behind closed doors? Useless, they're so negative, and the ANC is a majority party. They must get more coverage. That's not how the media works. I want a quota more. I want a quota. If you are corrupt every day, we'll report on you every day. If you do good things every day, we'll report on it every day. I want a quota. Hey, communications follows action. You do wrong things, we'll report those wrong things. You do well, we'll give you credit where it is due, rare as that occasion may be. Hey, but I was shocked, man.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. I don't know. The media has no right. Hey, this is the guy who wrote the Constitution. He was chairperson of the Constituent Assembly. How you tell the Constitution as a rumor moene? We quadile.
Constitution is not a rumor to him. He wrote it.
And in that Bill of Rights, it expressly said there shall be freedom of the press.
He wrote it himself. No one actually forced him to write it.
Why half a hour that's been in hey, but they don't have a right, man.
He writes it, and after writing it, he throws it into the dustbin and says that South Africans do not have the right. We are an organization.
We must get a big share of the media. Who told these people this? And it's not the first time. I remember.
And Ramaphosa is not being genuine when he says that they need the media needs to give them coverage on what they are doing, because Ramaphosa says that the media is not reporting on the ANC activities. Guys, what is it that Ramaphosa wants from the media? The media is not reporting on ANC activities. Man, the media is everywhere where the ANC goes. The ANC today can tell you that we are going to the hotel. The NEC meeting will be held at such and such hotel. You will find the media standing there. You will find Samkelo Maseko standing in front of camera, reporting nothing and telling you that he's waiting for Fikile Mbalula to come out so that they can tell them the conclusions of the media of the NEC. Everywhere where the NC goes, you will find the media. You will find the media. I mean, like, have you seen how stupid it is when the ANC says that, when the ANC says, okay, guys, we are going to maybe Hilton Hotel for the ANC, NEC, you will find the media standing outside. The media will be reporting to South Africans that we are standing outside. We haven't spoken to any member of the ANC. We are standing outside waiting for them. Then Ramaphosa has the audacity to say that the media does not report on the ANC activities. What is it exactly does he want? What is it exactly does he want? Does he want the media to only report on what the ANC is doing? Because when it comes to the attention, there is not a single organization in the country that has been given more airtime than the ANC. This is the same thing that you remember the MK guys, the controversies. These people every day, they are on national television, they are on national radio. Every single day, the MK guys, they are on TV, they are on radio. But when they go to their constituency on the ground, they tell the people on the ground that the mainstream media hates us. These people, they do not even want to give us the platform. But these people are given the platform each and every day. The guy from MK came out and said that if Jacob Zuma is not on the ballot, if MK is not on the ballot, then South Africa, there's going to be riots, then no one is going to vote. There's going to be civil war in the country. The same person who said that there's going to be civil war in the country, this person was on national television that night. He was on the national television that night after telling South Africans that there's going to be civil war if MK is not on the ballot. The same person, like, can you imagine, man, threatening the country, telling the country that we are planning a civil war. And the same person, man, he is on the media that night. And the same people go to their people on the ground and say that the media has been negative on us. The media does not want to report on the MK.
Mambalula at some point, after the terrible performance of the ANC in 2019, he and Zizi went to the SABC to say, yeah, the ANC has 66% or whatever it is percent they had, so the coverage must be 66%. What how they are failing? What how they are failing? How they kilari? Hello, what over like ANC? Like us, like one of us staying.
If you, Hlaudi Motsoeneng once said that if you want to report about the ANC, you cannot do it without the ANC being present. If you talk about the ANC, they have to be present in the room.
That's what he was saying. But Claudi burst into the studio and about to stop a program because ANC is staying.
Claudi once stopped the program and told the people that they must stop reporting about the ANC because the ANC was not in the room. I mean, like, it is bizarre, guys. Like, it is so sad, man. It is so sad that the president of the country, instead of simply acknowledging his fails, instead of saying that, okay, guys, maybe the ANC has failed the people of this country. Maybe we need to do better as the organization because we are going into these elections. But if we lived in a sane country, the people were not going to vote for the ANC anymore. But unfortunately, we live in South Africa, so the ANC is still going to get a lot of votes. They're still going to get a lot of votes. So instead of the ANC saying, guys, how about we actually renew ourselves? You remember Ramaphosa was the champion of renewal. How about we really renew the African National Congress? How about we start getting rid of this corrupt comrade? How about we start throwing people to jail? How about we start being serious about the safety of South Africans? How about we start being serious about the investment and making sure that the South Africans are working? How about we start working on these things so that people can see that the ANC, the same ANC that was fighting for them pre-1994, is still the same ANC in 2024. No, they are not talking about that. They are talking about censoring the people who are reporting quote unquote negatively about the ANC. I don't know, man. What is South Africans are going to do, man? What are South Africans going to do? What are South Africans going to do? Guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.